Hello, welcome to another video on Keep Calm and Bake. Today we're going to be making some Lebanese bread. Also, you could call it pita bread because it's kind of like that. So, what we're going to start off with is our dry ingredients. Today I'm going to be using all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour. If you just have all-purpose flour, that's fine. So you're going to be needing 2 cups of flour in total if you're just doing all-purpose flour. But if you're doing some whole wheat flour, you're going to need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and half a cup of whole wheat flour. And put it in your big bowl. You do not have to sift this. But if your flour does have a lot of lumps, then you probably should. There. And now we're going to be adding in some salt, and I'm just going to be doing a teaspoon of salt and sprinkle that right there and just whisk that up. Now after you whisk that, you're going to need 1 cup of warm water. Remember, warm, not hot or cold. So set that aside, dry ingredients. Now take your warm water and you're going to need some instant yeast. I'm just using, well, I don't really know what kind of yeast this is, but I'm sure, yeah, you can use active dry yeast. I think, yeah, this is what I'm using, active dry yeast. So you're going to need 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast and put it into your water. So it's half a tablespoon. And you're going to need some sugar, a little bit of sugar, so that the yeast has something to feed on. We're going to be adding also a tablespoon of sugar. No, actually, half a tablespoon would be fine. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of a mix. And then after all of the sugar is dissolved, you're just going to let it sit there at room temperature for about 5 minutes because if the yeast is good yeast, it's going to start making some bubbles. And that's a good thing. That means our yeast is alive, and you just need to let it proof. So just wait 5 minutes. So this is how your yeast should look like after 5 minutes. It should look very bubbly and all those bubbles, and it should be kind of foamy. After you've let your yeast sit out, and after you let your yeast proof for about 5 minutes, now we'll bring our dry ingredients in and make a bit of a well, and then just pour in your wet ingredients. And there will be some stuff on the side, well, for me, and you could just also scrape all of that. And now just slowly start to incorporate your flour. And yes. Till it becomes a shaggy dough, and so you want to incorporate it until it becomes a shaggy dough, and not everything has to be fully incorporated, and so you just kind of want it to start to come together. And so I'm gonna take, and then you're gonna need this on a countertop, but you don't have to. You can also do it in the bowl if you prefer. but it would be a bit harder. So I'm just gonna bring it all together in the bowl. It will be very sticky, so we're going to need to knead it for about 15 minutes straight. Yes, that is a lot. And then it will become less sticky. Now after you've kneaded your dough for 15 minutes, so what you can do, see it's a lot less sticky now, but also I'd like to know that for the bench flour, you need to use a lot. It's about half a cup of flour for the bench, and a tiny bit more actually. So this is how your dough should look like. It's very stretchy, but then it tears apart. When you press down, it should rise up. Yeah. So now our dough needs to rest. So I'm just using the same bowl I was making my dough in, which is fine. Then take some olive oil and just gently grease your bowl and just kind of make your dough into a ball. And now just put it in your bowl and just put on some plastic wrap and then put it in kind of warm area. Don't put it in the fridge because that will stop the rising. You could also use a kitchen towel if you want to just cover it with something. And just let it rise for 1 hour. So 1 hour passed and my dough has about doubled in size and it smells really good. I really like the smell of yeast and like bread and stuff. So now what we're gonna do, just dump it onto our surface. Oh, that looks good. And we're gonna kind of roll it a bit. Kind of like a little log, and then we're going to take a knife and cut it into 4 pieces. I'll just roll it into balls. So you have your 4 balls, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna press with your fingers, kind of like you're making a pizza. And you don't want to do it too much. I mean, actually, yeah, you do it like that. There. And now just let it rise for another 15 minutes. So what you're going to want to do now is, after you've let them rest for about 15 minutes, we're going to want to finally form them into the shape we want. So what you're going to do, you can also use a rolling pin if you want. I'm just going to be using my fingers. So you're going to just squish it and kind of like spread it out into the shape of your bread. Now after your dough is all done, it's time to put it on and cook it. So I just took a non-stick skillet and put my dough on. Then I flipped it a few times until there was browning on one of the sides. And then I let the other side brown. By the way, this heat is about medium heat. You shouldn't put it too high or too low. I will also just like to say that all of the measurements are in the description box below. And just cook it until it's cooked and it's kind of fluffy. After you've cooked all of your pita bread, well, all of your Arabic bread, or pita bread, you can call that too, it's done. And I just want to give you a few suggestions of what you want to eat your bread with. So, what you could do, so take some of your bread, and then this is pretty thick. You can like split it down the middle, like kind of tear it a bit apart. But you can eat it however you want to. And then, okay, it's kind of thin. That's not really work. Anyway, you could put in some labneh, which is really good. That's really good. Also, you could put some hummus. You could also put in a lot of other things. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please click the thumbs up, and yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye.